Hello everyone, welcome to this Drupaljam presentation on turning your Drupal into a DXP. I'm Dominique. I'm a software engineer, been active in the Drupal community for quite some time. And right now I'm focusing on digital experiences, the technology, the strategy, how to do the whole business around Drupal and digital experiences. My experience there is my role as CEO and founder of Dropsolid, the digital experience company. So, this webinar is about understanding that Drupal is not enough anymore for most customers. What our customers want is to get to know their customers. And if you want to deliver them what we call a return on experience, well, they got to move from CMS to DXP to stay relevant. So let's look first at the digital roadmap. So most companies go through various steps from getting a small website online, getting their products and services on it, getting some ads out there, some SEO optimizations, and then it evolves to like trying to get more from organic search, trying to segment their email marketing, etc., expanding to more channels. Um, we're also looking then at the third stage when you're really optimizing. And as you can see, like KPIs in the beginning, we're happy if we are having traffic and people can find us. When we're moving to the third stage, we're really going to focus on monthly targets, like more conversion targets. On the fourth stage, that's becoming really important, tied to business targets. And there we see that we're going to use rule-based personalization, even automatic personalization. And what we want is to get to the last stage where we can deliver an experience that is tailored to every customer individually, which of course will increase customer lifetime value and make our users very happy and give us high NPS scores, which will bring in more leads and will allow us to charge a premium for our customers. So this customer, he wants to be central. He wants to be able to be targeted through all these different channels, regardless of where he is physically, in which context he is, which experience he is having, and so that customer is very demanding. So what does this have to do with a DXP and more in detail? What is a DXP? So in the beginning, we were thinking, okay, a DXP is it just a new fancy name for selling websites? Well, actually, it's as a biggest jump as from regular CSS HTML websites way back 20 years ago to CMS, which Drupal obviously has been very successful in the last 2 decades. Well, the jump from CMS to DXP is as big because what is the big difference between a CMS and a DXP? Well, the focus of the DXP is on the experience, while the focus on the CMS was on the content. And while the content is still very important, of course, because CMS is still part of the DXP, things like personalization, multiple channels, analytics, user experience become key. And in fact, knowing your customer is the key. Regular CMS does not actually know a lot about the customer that is engaging with this content. And of course, because of evolutions like cloud and artificial intelligence and integrations with lots of different other technologies, it's all about decreasing costs of engaging with your customers. and now it's even a necessity because physical touching with your customer is more difficult. It was already expensive, so and now it's even in some like the latest period, it's not even possible anymore. So not only decreasing cost, but it's also becoming a necessity. So if we look at the Gartner overview of what the core pillars of a DXP is, then we can see that we have in the middle the management part, which we're all very familiar of. Is basically your CMS capabilities, the content management, collaboration, knowledge management. We have account services, people can log into the system. We have the whole access and security, access control. That's the roles and the rights in Drupal. On the left one, Drupal already has capabilities there. That's why it was such or it is still is a strong CMS. If you look at search and navigation and discovery, although that's expanded over multiple channels and multiple databases in a DXP. Also, the experience presentation orchestration tools like Layout Builder, tools like the whole headless integration capabilities Drupal has right now. So there's already things, but things like personalization and context awareness, Drupal does not have that out of the box. Also, analytics and optimization, it does not have that out of the box. If you look at the platform side, of course, we can run Drupal in the cloud. There are several companies who do that, like Acquia and Pantheon and Dropsolid. But this has really been a necessity to run a DXP and make it really scalable. Also, the architectural and application development capabilities of Drupal, um, yeah, are there. If you look at the integration and interoperability and extensibility of a Drupal, yeah, that's already also there. The multi-channel support, now with headless, that's also possible. Lots of improvements on usability, but like things like applied AI is not out of the box in Drupal. So if you see the capabilities really tied to data are not out of the box there in Drupal. So if we would explain to someone never heard of a DXP, what it actually is, well, it's a software system that allows you to connect the inside of your organization, where you have knowledge of customers, product, intelligence about your business, how to tie that to the front of your business, being your interaction with your customer. How can your customer interact with your business in an intelligent way, which is personalized for them through all these different channels? So a DXP is a software that manages this. If we look at from an IT perspective, we could say in this very simplified IT architecture diagram that we have the business logic layer, where you have your ERP and CRM systems and product inventory and digital asset management, which is shielded with the authentication and the service layer, where you have your APIs and your identity access management and the single sign-on systems. On top of that, you would be getting what we call your experience layer, where you can connect through all these different channels and use the data which you have in your company databases to connect with that end user. And if we see it like a marketer, where we have the classical funnel, where we drive traffic from various sources online, or we have our salespeople doing outbound prospecting, we are capturing all that traffic on a platform, on your websites, all these different channels, and we're going to capture all the behavior data they are generating. We're using other marketing technology to send emails or show them videos, or do a webinar, or use a chatbot. We have our analytics tech on the other side, Well, the DXP is the central system that brings all the technology together. So you can build like a really strong funnel, which gives you a lot of conversion. So now that we know what the DXP is, then the next step would be like, okay, but do I really need this? So then the question we would ask ourselves is, so why invest in experience, in a better experience? So I found some research from Gartner, which shows us a study where they've researched a number of companies launching customer experience projects, and guess what? 93% of them were measuring ROI. 50% was a financial metric. Um, and what were they measuring? Increased satisfaction, more revenue, better lifetime values, and even things like increased brand value and a reduced cost of acquisition. So, a better use of marketing budgets, getting more leads for the same budget. So all these things were measured in investing in customer experience projects. And installing a DXP is obviously a big customer experience project. Um, Another example from SaaS companies who sell mainly online, where we saw that their promoters churned 40% less and they had 50% um, more qualified leads from these people. So yeah, it is a huge benefit if you're a SaaS company. And then more a macroeconomic view from if you would have invested in a stock portfolio of companies who all take customer experience as their main mantra, you would have gotten like 5 times more from your same investment over the last 16 years. And I'm guessing that right now, I don't have the numbers, but I'm guessing right of what's happening right now that this curve will be even stronger. Um, so that's what we call the return on experience. But let's look a little bit more of what is that return on experience. If you're investing in customer experience, and especially I got this research about personalization engines, and these are proprietary companies that have already been investing in this. So Drupal is lagging a little bit behind of these companies. But what I found is like they've found drastically more page views and clicks per page because of personalization, decreased bounce rates, more open rates, email open rates, increasing self-service with sometimes like 200%. And we have a similar case like this. I will show it to you in a minute. It's definitely possible. Also, better service, which the bigger your organization is, if you scale this up to a company with hundreds or thousands employees, having these benefits, these improvements, yeah, it translates in a huge operational cost gain. If we look at e-commerce, we got higher order value, we got greater conversion rates, increased revenue, decreased cost, less carts being abandoned. This all translating in real extra sales, in extra margins. So it's very tangible. Um, so if we summarize this, what we see is we can divide it in three big pillars. Of course, the third one, just explain it like the operational cost, like the marginal cost, making you very scalable. Having a platform for 10 users or a million users doesn't make that much more investment. Then the second one, the customer acquisition cost, having a better experience will allow you to spend less in sales and marketing for the same customer acquired, which means that if you're spending the same, you get more acquired customers. And then the first one, which is the combination of all factors, is the customer lifetime value, which means that the customer is increasing its spend and is staying longer with you because his experience is better, which would give you a big competitive advantage. For all these things, it's possible to calculate that for a business, and measure this with analytics. It takes some time, but it is possible. So let's look at Drupal as a DXP. So we all know Drupal as a CMS, but if we look at Drupal as a DXP, we need to expand it with a couple of elements, of course. So we have our customers. He's going through all our different channels, which we've put up with Drupal, and maybe we also have some commerce with Drupal Commerce. So we have this omni-channel content distribution. That's all there. But when this customer is on our website, he's generating a lot of data. And what we're going to do, every click, everything, all the interactions, we're going to store that in what we call a customer data management platform. And a customer data management platform is basically a big database where you store all that interaction data in profiles. And then we're going to try to find valuable segments in those profiles, segments based on what's the intention of the user. Is he here to buy, um, let's say we sell insurances. Is he here to buy a car insurance, or is he here to buy a house insurance? Things like this could highly increase our conversion rates if we could obtain knowledge from the customer based on his behavior. And we can tie this with things we already know. If the customer would authenticate himself, we could probably get benefits from his previous purchase data, etc. So building all these segments, we can then use in our CMS system in Drupal to show relevant content or change our call to actions or change our offering, do other product recommendations to that customer based on what we figured out based on his behavior. On the other hand, we have Matic, which is an open source marketing automation platform, and just like Drupal. Same thing with Unomi. Unomi is an open source engine. Look it up. It's an Apache project. Well, Matic it's basically your open source HubSpot. This platform allows you to send emails, which is also a different channel, and it's also possible to use the knowledge we obtained, the user behavior data from this customer, and use it in Matic to show them personalized emails. And then the last step, of course, is we need to visualize our results. Creating an integration with tools like Google Analytics, or if you want to go open source, you can use things like Matomo to give the segments to these analytics tools, so you can have a Google Analytics dashboard with the segments that you have created. So having all this would make Drupal a digital experience platform. Now, we did a couple of cases, like for example, we used that in the search, and we increased the accuracy of the search results from 55 to 91%, which lowered the support calls. We had another customer where we expanded to multiple channels, giving them an overview. This was a screen that was put in stores, in DIY stores, which all connected to the same content. vastly increasing the SEO results as well on the website. And then the last one was with personalization, we've created a plus 300% in-store meetings on an e-commerce website. Yeah, so these results are very real if you start using this in the right way. So, what are the implications for businesses? Businesses would have more time on site, page views, conversions. They would know their customers, get that competitive advantage, lower acquisition costs. So, if you're looking for someone who should help you with this, it should be a complete partner who can do and the strategy, the UX. It will be more integration work. As an agency, I think you should move to a yeah, to a strategy where you can not only offer Drupal, because your customer will be looking for someone who could do and the strategy and the UX and the integration work and the optimizations. So you would be looking for a strategic partner. So if you can be that partner, you will have uh, more Drupal work, and you'll also would be able to deliver all these other services to your customers if you would be selling DXP. What's the implication for developers and marketers? If you look, marketers and developers will work far more closely with each other, together with each other. Developers will have the focus on building an experience, not just a website, not just the code, but they'll have to be conscious that they're building an experience. And marketers and content managers will have far more control of building the experience, because next to the content, they also will have data to combine with the content and build better journeys. If you want to become part of this, Dropsolid is open sourcing a lot of this work with the Rocket Ship installer and the Apache Unomi connector and the Mautic paragraph. Coming up, we'll also do more around making Drupal smart with machine learning. If you want more about this, talk to our CTO, Nick Veenhoff. He will, if you want to help out on this, he will guide you through how we can build this together. And then finally, how do you get started with all this? How do you move in 5 steps to the DXP? So first, get Drupal up and running. I'm sure we all know how to do that. Engage with those customers, define the right customer segments so you have the relevant content on your website across the journey. Then the next step is we'll connect Drupal to Unomi. So we'll be collecting that data from different sources and we'll be building those rich profiles according to certain rules that we put. And then we'll start to capture the data and build the segments. So we can do that manually, or we can use machine learning algorithms to do this. And then we'll have these high value segments, which we then can use that data in our Drupal site. So, for example, it would be that easy as showing a block or a paragraph or whatever in Drupal, yes or no, depending on which user segment you would be getting from Unomi in your Drupal site. And then in Mautic, you can deploy campaigns based on these same segments. And then the fifth step is we could connect your CDP with the analytics, for example, with Google Analytics in this case. And we would have our conversions. We would be able to measure our conversions by the segment that we have been building based on our data, giving you far more insight in what's happening on your website. So that's it. If you want to know more about us, please contact us. We can support partners and developers and marketers with this. To summarize, Drupal is not enough anymore as a CMS. You will have to get to know your customers, and if you are able to move from a CMS to a DXP, you'll deliver a lot of return on experience to your organization, and you'll stay relevant for the future. Thank you very much, and see you next year. Bye bye.